Hi guys, it's Panthers Sam back in another video, and today I'm filming from a different angle. Just let me know how you guys like this. It's a little bit closer, and I just thought it looks better in my opinion, but let me know down below if you like this new angle. And before we get into the video, follow me on Instagram down below, link in the description if you're not already. And thank you guys so much for 100 followers, because I just got there at the time of filming this video. And let's get into the first game, which is Thursday Night Football, with the Panthers taking on the Texans in Houston at 8:20 p.m. So in this game, I'm going to pick the Panthers to win because the Panthers have played really good against the Saints and the Jets. And then also the Texans don't have their starting quarterback in Tyrod Taylor because he is out with an injury. So their rookie quarterback, Davis Mills, will be the starter for the Texans. And I just really don't think he'll be able to beat the Panthers with the weapons he has, because he does have a pretty decent offense. Probably the best part of their team is their offense, in my opinion, for the Texans. But the Panthers are one of the best defenses in the league so far. They're up there in sacks. They're just a really good overall defense. So I just don't think they're going to be able to win this game. So I'm going to pick the Panthers to win on Thursday Night Football against the Texans in Houston. Let's get into the Sunday games. So the first Sunday game we have is the Chargers taking on the Chiefs in Kansas City at 1 p.m. So in this game, I think the Chiefs are going to win because the Chiefs are just really good. And I know they did lose to the Ravens on Sunday Night Football, but I just think the Chiefs have one of the best offenses in the league and are just going to be able to outscore the Chargers. And I do think the Chargers have a really good team, and I like their team with Justin Herbert, etc. But I just don't think they're going to be able to beat the Chiefs here, so I'm going to give the win to the Chiefs in this first 1 o'clock game on Sunday. Let's get into the next game. The next game we have is the Cardinals taking on the Jaguars at 1 p.m. in Jacksonville. So I'm going to take the Cardinals in this game because the Jaguars have just not really been that good overall this season. And I really do think the Cardinals are a really good team. And they did win against the Vikings. It was a last-second missed field goal by the Vikings kicker. Vikings kickers just have historically done that recently in the recent past and possibly in the near future as well. I don't know why, but their kickers have just not been able to make those really close game-winning field goals that are not even that far. Like that one, I believe, was 30-something yards he missed. I just guess their kickers are not very clutch. But I do think the Cardinals are going to beat the Jaguars easily because I don't think the Jaguars are really that good of a team. And maybe in the future, because they have a lot of good young pieces like Trevor Lawrence and DJ Chark and then Travis Etienne coming back next year. So I think maybe in the future, but just right now, I just don't really like their chances. So I'm going to give the win to the Cardinals here. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Bears taking on the Browns in Cleveland at 1 p.m. Eastern. So in this game, I'm going to give the Browns the win because I think the Browns are a really good team. And it was just announced today at the time of filming this video that Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback for the Bears. Well-deserved, I think, by Justin Fields. And I'm excited to watch him be the named starter because he has played a little bit, but not as the named starting quarterback for the team. And I'm really excited to see what he can do with this Bears offense and David Montgomery, Allen Robinson, etc., and Darnell Mooney. I think this is going to be a really good game for him, but I just don't know if it's going to be great. Like, I think it'll be an okay game, like good, but I don't think it's going to be his best because it is against the Browns, and the Browns do have a pretty decent defense. Not the best, but not the worst. And also, it is going to be his first game, technically, as a starter, so I just think the Bears are not going to win here, and I do really like the Browns' offense with Baker Mayfield, etc. I think it's a really good offense. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, a lot of good pieces there in Cleveland. So I'm going to give the win to the Browns here in Cleveland. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have Washington taking on Buffalo in Buffalo. I'm going to give the win here to the Bills because the Bills played really good last week, shutting out the Miami Dolphins. I was really surprised by that. I thought it was going to be a close game and the Bills were going to get the edge, but Bills just dominated that game. And Washington football team, I really do like how Taylor Heineke's been playing. I know it's only one game he's fully started to replace Ryan Fitzpatrick, but it just seems like whenever he starts a game, he plays really well. Like last year in the playoffs against Tom Brady, he played really well. I just like how he plays when he comes in, but I just don't think he's going to be able to beat the Bills here because I think the Bills do have a really good team. I do think this will be a close game between the two teams, but I am going to give the edge to the Bills and give them the win here in this game. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Colts taking on the Titans in Nashville. I'm going to give the Titans the win here because I really do like the Titans team, and I know the Colts have not gotten a win on the year yet, and they're probably going to be really fighting to try to get that first win, especially against a divisional opponent in the Titans, who they might be fighting for playoff positioning later on in the year if the Colts can start playing a little bit better. But I just don't think Jacob Eason's going to be able to lead this team to a win in Nashville, and I'm going to give the Titans the win, and for the Titans to improve their record to 2-1 on the year after getting embarrassed at home in Week 1 against the Arizona Cardinals. So I give the win to the Titans. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Saints taking on the Patriots in Foxborough at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. And sorry if I'm shaking the camera a lot. It's just I'm holding it instead of it being on like a tripod. It's on the tripod, but I'm holding it and instead of it just being set up, because I think this camera angle is a little bit better if I could try to keep it stable. So just let me know, guys, what you think of this camera angle. I think it's better, but just let me know what you guys think down below. And if you like the old way, I'll go back to that. So I think in this game, I think it's going to be a close game, but I am going to give the Patriots the win here, I think, because Patriots, I think, are going to be able to get the win, even though they did lose in week 1 to the Dolphins. And I know the Saints did win week 1, big win against the Packers, but they just did not look very good against the Panthers. And Sean Payton's offense against the Panthers have had the least offensive yards he's had in his whole career as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. And Jameis Winston does not have a good day. And I do think he might be able to rebound, but the Patriots, I think, are also a really good defense he's going to be going up against, just like Carolina. So I'm going to give the win to the Patriots here at home, and maybe the Saints can go back next week and get a win, but I just don't think they're going to win in Foxborough against Mac Jones and the Patriots. So Patriots get the win. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Falcons taking on the Giants in New York. So I do think this will be a close game because both these teams are not great in any means. But the Falcons did give a nice fight against the Bucs until they blew it. They were down by only 3 and had a chance to go on the game-leading drive, and they just could not do it. Only down by 3 at one point in that game, and then they just blew it, and it got wide open. The Buccaneers easily took it, but they did keep it close against the Buccaneers, who are a really good team, but I just think the Giants are going to win the game here because I just have not seen the Falcons being able to close a game. Even if they get close or take the lead, they just blow it. They just cannot get into the game and get the win. So I'm going to give the Giants the win. I know the Giants haven't been great either, but I do like Daniel Jones, how he's been playing so far this season. And if Saquon can stay healthy and keep playing well, I think that will help the Giants offense out a lot. So I'm going to give the win to the Giants here, but I would not be surprised if the Falcons win. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Bengals taking on the Steelers in Pittsburgh. So in my opinion, I think this is actually going to be a pretty close game, but I am going to give the win to the Steelers because I do think the Steelers will be able to get the win, even though they just do not have the greatest team on paper. I think they'll find a way to win against the Bengals here and Joe Burrow. So I'm going to give Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers the win here. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Ravens taking on the Lions in Detroit. So I'm going to give the Ravens the win here because the Ravens beat the Chiefs, which I was very surprised about. And I just don't think the Lions are going to be able to slow down Lamar Jackson. And the Lions did have a good fight against the Packers in the first half and then kind of just fell apart in the second half, in my opinion. So I do like how they played in that first half against them. But the second half, I really didn't enjoy how they played against the Packers. I just don't think they played very well. But the Lions are still a rebuilding team, so you shouldn't expect them to win a lot of games this year. But if you can see some good progression, just kind of like how the Jets are, if you can see some good progression by your young players, I would be happy with that if you're a Lions fan. But I am going to give the win to the Ravens here. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Jets taking on the Broncos in Denver at 4:05 p.m. So I'm going to give the Broncos the win here because I know the Broncos have only beaten the Jaguars and Giants, who are not the greatest of teams, but I just think they're easily going to be able to beat the Jets here because I think they'll be able to get to Zach Wilson, get a lot of pressure on him, which will make it really hard for him as a rookie quarterback with not the greatest receiving core. He does have Corey Davis, and Jameson Crowder is questionable, so they do have some good receivers, just I don't think they're there yet, and the running game is just not quite there yet, but maybe in a few years as this team develops and gets better. But as of right now, I think the Broncos defense is a little bit too much for the Jets to handle, so I am going to give the Broncos the win here and to improve to 3-0 on the year. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Dolphins taking on the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas at 4:05 p.m. So in my opinion, I think this is going to be a really close game, but I am going to give the win to the Raiders and Derek Carr because I just think they've been playing really well this year. And if Josh Jacobs is able to come back this week, that's a big addition for the Raiders with that running game. And they already have Darren Waller, who's pretty much like the receiver one, even though he plays tight end. So he gets a lot of good mismatches. And I just think Derek Carr's been playing pretty well this season. He's not the greatest of quarterbacks, but he always plays pretty well, in my opinion. Or sometimes he does. I think he finds a way to play well. He's not the greatest, obviously. There's a lot better quarterbacks out there, but he's been playing really well this year, so I'm giving him his credit, and I think he will be able to get another win for the Raiders and improve to 3-0 on the year. Let's get into the next game. And before we get into the next game, while I was editing this video, it has came out that Tua has fractured his ribs and will not play Week 3 against the Raiders, but I do still think the Raiders are going to win, but that's unfortunate for the Dolphins, and hopefully Tua can come back soon healthy. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Buccaneers taking on the Rams in LA at 4:25 p.m. So I think this is going to be a really close game, but I think I am going to give the win to the Rams because I really do like Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald on the same defense. But I would not be surprised whatsoever if the Bucs do find a way to win this game because they do have a really good offense and their defense is pretty good as well. But I just think the Rams offense and Rams defense is going to be able to work together to get the win here as the underdogs, even though they are at home. So I'm going to give the Rams the win here at home in LA. Let's get into the next game. Next, we have the Seahawks taking on the Vikings in Minnesota at 4:25 p.m. So I'm going to give the Seahawks the win here because, yes, they did choke a game against the Titans, but I just think the Seahawks are a lot better of a team right now than the Vikings, in my opinion. So I think they're going to be able to get the win here on the road in Minnesota. So I give the Seahawks the win here with Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner. And let's get into Sunday Night Football. So on Sunday Night Football, we have the Packers taking on the 49ers in San Francisco at 8:20 p.m. So in this game, I think it's going to be a really close game. And I think I'm going to give the slight edge here to the Packers, but I would not be surprised whatsoever if the 49ers win this game. I think it's going to be a really close game throughout, but I am going to give the win to the Packers because I think Aaron Rodgers will be able to come through and give the team the win after that embarrassing week 1 loss. But they did have a nice win on Monday Night Football against the Lions at home in week 2. So I think they're going to continue off that momentum and get the win here in week 3 against the 49ers on prime time. Let's get into Monday Night Football. So on Monday Night Football, we have an NFC East matchup with the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. And this game is in Dallas on Monday Night Football. So I think in this game it will be not really that close. I think it will be a close game. I think the Cowboys are just going to be able to win because I really do like that offense with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. Ezekiel Elliott's looking like he's being a little bit better last week. He was definitely a lot better than week 1. Looks like he's getting back to his old self. And I do really think the Cowboys will be able to beat the Eagles here. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles keep it close. But I'm just going to give the win to the Cowboys here. So let me know your predictions down below. And I know this video was not quite as long as my other predictions videos. I'm just trying to do them a little bit quicker so that they're easier to get up quicker and edit for you guys so that I can get them up by the time Thursday Night Football starts, so before that. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe to the channel down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.